Hello. We are starting a live stream. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Uh, Today, yeah, it's been a few months. Lots of stuff has been happening to my life, and I hope you guys are all well. Just passed for a few weeks Chinese New Year, so I hope wish you guys a very happy year of the tiger. Good happiness, happy family, happy money, makes lots of money, lucky, everything. I hope. So how's I hope everyone is well. I apologize for being haven't done any video streams for a while. As you probably my subscribers are probably aware. I did some videos on me in the hospital and everything, and I was pretty sick. Yeah, I was pretty sick, and it's pretty serious too, um, because the reason was I, had a lot of health problems because during these COVID times, like couple of years, I've been staying at home, just cooking all the time. As you probably know, I love cooking, eating, no exercise, and my body has been really wide, like, and everything, my organs and everything. Hey, Boo Boo, how are you doing? Welcome to my live stream. Very nice to see you guys. Yeah, so I was pretty sick, and the doctor told me uh, I will be, if I continue not exercising and keep on eating and being a slob, um, he would guarantee me 5 years time I'll be on dialysis. So yeah, that won't be fun, right? Uh, and I heard, my late uncle, had to go for dialysis. It's like 3 times a week, 4 hours per session. Isn't that horrible? Yeah, and fatty liver, triglycerides, all these really bad things. So I'll go stand up. I'll show you. Like, I had lost a lot of weight. You see, um, these are the new jeans. I couldn't wear any more of my old pants, trousers, because they were too wide. Before it's a 30, 36, 35 and a half, 36 inch. Now it's a 30 waist. So that's my size right now. And the deal is, if I keep on uh, I just have to keep this up. So anyway, today I'm just going to talk about the COVID cases in Hong Kong. And just in case you didn't know, I'm in North America, Vancouver, Canada. Um, I been here for about a month or so, and everything has been okay, fine. And everybody told me, my patrons has been telling me, "Oh, you're lucky. You came here in time, North America in time, because the COVID now in Hong Kong, it's really bad." So let's talk about the fifth wave in Hong Kong. So it's the Omicron, and Hong Kong government doesn't take Omicron, they don't take it like casually or whatever. They take it very, very serious, and they are adapting all the laws in mainland China. So pretty much they're doing the same thing. Uh, yeah, and I don't know, is it a good thing or a bad thing? It's for you guys to decide. And I'm just trying to be as neutral as possible and telling you guys what's exactly happening. So Hong Kong is really strict. When I went back to Hong Kong, I had to go to a 21-day quarantine in a room. I'm not allowed to go out of that room, step out. Every room has a CCTV, and the health department, Hong Kong health department, monitors that. So if I violate, I walk out to the hallway. Just one simple thing, they'll send me to a government camp, quarantine camp, and I'll be stuck there even with a smaller room. I tried to save money, went to like a 3-star hotel. Food was really bad. And the thing is, right, I can order Uber Eats, everything like that. But the deal is, when I order some Uber Eats or some nice food, sometimes you want something nice to eat, right? And we order it, and they don't even bring that food up on time. Uh, and it really sucks. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but I hope you're all well now. Yeah, sad to hear it, but I think we have the basic, the injections and the shots, so we are pretty much we can survive through the Omicron. Yeah, anyways, the food there was just really bad. And then when I ordered Uber Eats to deliver down at the lobby, and I waited like an hour for pizza, right? And the computer, like Domino's or whatever, they would say already delivered like 45 minutes ago. And then when I call down and say, hey, WTF, where's my pizza? And they say, oh, well, we're checking in COVID, travelers from overseas. We're really uptight about it. We don't want to do anything wrong because they've shut our whole business down and all that. We've been warned. So we have to clear all these, the customers, let them all go to the room, like monitor them, put the locking key before we can send any food up. So it was hell, let me tell you, that quarantine for 21 days. And oh, good for you. Hey, Gunnar Walker, how are you doing? Good morning. It's good evening here in Vancouver, Canada. Time is almost 9 o'clock p.m. Yep. Welcome to my channel, Gunnar Walker, sir. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'm trying to keep up more, because of my health problems. I didn't, manage to do too much. And yeah, it's terrible. Not the Omicron, but just personal health problems and fatty liver. And before I left Hong Kong, I'm just like, hey, Crazy Crossman, you're my man. So Crazy Crossman is my loyal Patreon. He's been supporting my channel since I had Patreon, and I appreciate you coming by. And good to see a reception today. That's awesome. Yeah, so let's talk a bit more. So that 21 days, I mean, it's just not just bad food and yeah, man. So I lost a lot of weight, sickness, as we talked about. Yeah, so my waist is 30 inches now. It was 36. So I just briefly see my new jeans. I'm proud of my Levi's 501 jeans. There's like a tight fit. I couldn't wear this, like a few months ago. And the thing is, when you buy Levi's here, there's a 60-day guarantee. So within those 60 days, bring your receipt, and you can take it back to Levi's and give you a full refund if you don't like the jeans. That's a good deal, guys. You might want to try that. It's not an advertisement, but it's a fact. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So what the bad thing now is in Hong Kong. Let's talk about Filipino domestic workers. It's really sad. So they're like Carrie Lam is the head of the SAR government, Special Administration Region government, and most of Hong Kong saying that she's not really doing a good job. Uh, and she would just say, "Oh yeah, it's up to the central government," blah 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 blah. And then the latest I heard, "Oh, we don't, we don't." Okay, I'm hope I'm back in business. I hope you guys can see me again. It's internet. In my place the internet isn't too good, so I hope we are still okay. I hope you guys can see me. Yeah, apologize for this inconvenience, guys. Let's go back to my stream if I can find it. So embarrassing all the time when this happens. So I can just get back in business. Okay, yes, we're in business. Yes, yay. Yeah, so Carrie Lam and all that, blah, blah, blah. And the sad thing, I'm talking about the Filipino domestic helpers. Domestic helpers get maybe 600, 650 US a month. Okay, so they get that salary and they stay home with the owners. And they only have 1 day of holiday a week on Sundays. So they are having a law that you can't hang out with more than a group of 2 people. So if I hang out with somebody else, that's okay. But if 3 people are together, they'll be fined. So now it's like a $500 fine. So people are doing a GoFundMe to help the domestic helpers because their salary is like 650 and they get 500 buck fine each. So that's a really hard toll, for them, and they're really getting sad, upset, they have left home and everything like that, which is very sad. And now the government says, oh, the GoFund meeting, the GoFund thing is illegal. You can't help the domestic helpers break the law and pay for their mistakes and all that. But it's just, I think it's just too tough, right, guys? So am I still here? I hope I'm here. You can still hear me. That's terrible. I apologize for sometimes having a bad connection here. Just want to make sure you guys hear me, everything. I'm not talking to myself. Yep. So I just want to check. Can anybody see me here? Yep. I think I'm still live. Yep. So and another thing, so the government is trying to say, oh yeah, it's illegal for them to help them out. So oh, thank you very much, Gunnar. Uh, apologize for the internet. Always have this problem. I hope you can, apologize. Subscribe to my channel, drop a like. Appreciate that. Yeah, so the GoFund thing to help the domestic helpers who got the fine, right? Which sucks. So they make it illegal. So for me, WTF, they already work like over 10 hours a day and they need a break, relax, whatever. But they take Omicron as serious as the first wave for everybody. So remember how the first wave, everything had to be shut down. Everything was like terrible, right? So they're treating the same thing on the Omicron. So in North America, now they're relaxing the laws and all that. Some place, like I went down to the States, talked to the border agent. He said, "Why are you asked me why are you wearing a mask? It's totally not necessary. Can you take it off, please?" So that was my first welcome. When I crossed the border to the States, it's not necessary to wear the mask. Okay, that's what he said. So okay. So in Hong Kong, and okay, so the domestic helpers, and when they got the Omicron, I'm talking right now, guys. Okay, when they got the Omicron and they test positive, because they get this free kit. Okay, so there's 2 stripes means not you're pregnant, but means you have Omicron or COVID, and the families, like the nanny or the domestic helper would tell them, oh, I got COVID. So they would lock the doors and not let them go back to the boss's home. So they live in, right? They're a live-in helper. So they have no home to sleep. And the deal is now there are a few domestic helpers that are sleeping on the street. Like after the holidays when they got tested, when they come back, they're now currently sleeping on the street. And in Hong Kong, these few days, the weather has been like 4 degrees Celsius. So that's around like 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Um, and that's pretty selfish because they should find a hospital or find some place so she can quarantine. Because if she walks into the building or with the family, the whole family has to quarantine, right? They'll be on a lockdown. So these are something that I uh, really feel upset about how the government is handling this. You gotta have respect. You gotta care about those people because they're helping Hong Kong a lot. And I'm I love the Philippines. People are one of the most friendly peoples in the world. I go to Philippines often when I have a chance instead of this lockdown. And by the way, I lost so much weight because I got these 2 uh, gym machines. Yeah, so and I do use them every week. I try to use them twice to keep there because sometimes in North America it's so cold and I don't want to do exercise outside. It's just freezing cold, so I do some exercise here. And I like the elliptical machine. It's good because they're easy on your knees and you can do your arm exercise too along with it. Yeah, before I won't do any of this kind of stuff. I'll rather lie on bed and just stay depressed, right? So okay, so we're done with the domestic helpers. I think it's really bad. And another thing is the senior homes. So the senior homes, it's a similar matter. So what happens to the senior homes, care centers, the OP, the seniors, when they have the Omicron, they test positive. the people over there would send them to the hospital. Okay, and now right now the hospitals are over flooded. Okay, there's not enough space. So the government hospital, what they do now, they're making little blue tents, and the hospital beds are overflowed. So those beds are on the parking lot. So you would see these senior citizens lying in the middle of the freaking parking lot, and that's disgusting. Um, and the thing is, when the hospital says, "Oh, now they have a fever, they just got to rest and get over it, like a week or something like that," but those senior homes won't take them back because they are afraid that they'll, they pass it on to other people at the senior home. So they just refuse to pick them up in the hospital, and the hospital is just getting more and more senior people, lying on a parking lot. And so now they are. It's just so. These are. I think it's just the mismanagement of the government, and now they're talking to private hospitals. Well, can you accept these senior people for quarantine and stuff like that? So now the latest news is Carrie Lam says, well, we're gonna open some gyms or indoor places, so these senior people will have a place to live, same as the domestic helpers in Hong Kong. So these are one of the really sad news. And just a few hours ago, they extended the ban until late April. So what that means that I can't go back to Hong Kong, even though if I was quarantined 21 days. So all flights from North America and many other countries are banned from entering Hong Kong. So I can't go back to Hong Kong right now. And restaurants from 6 o'clock on, no dine-in. Gyms, um, salons that you cut your hair, massage place, recreation centers and everything are remain closed. Yeah, so everybody has to, if they're working. Hong Kong people are pretty mobile, and there are a lot of night shifts in Hong Kong, and they don't have a place to sit in, so they just have to buy a to-go thing and eat on the streets at nighttime, which is pretty sad. But the weird thing is, in the morning, afternoon, you can still eat inside the restaurant. Okay, that's their rule. Okay, so it's not completely banned. But what I understand in North America, in Washington, when I want to eat, like a year ago, they said, "Oh, you can't eat inside at all in all hours, right? That's normal, but uh, you can eat outside. There's a picnic table, but in Hong Kong, you can eat until 6 o'clock evening time. So is it after 6 you get the COVID? So before 6 you don't get it. So that is that is the law in Hong Kong. Pretty screwed up. And the thing that really makes me kind of think is Carrie Lam, our supreme leader, uh, told press conference, said that well, all these COVID cases, how we are treating this, and blah blah blah, is nothing to do with the central government from Beijing. It's we have control of the laws and all that. I don't know what she's trying to prove saying this, uh, but we have invited the COVID specialists from mainland China to give us advice. But the final decision is for the SAR government, right? But just now, the domestic helpers, the seniors, these two things are just totally unacceptable, because you gotta have respect for people like that, right? And hi guys, welcome to my channel. Yeah, drop a like if you can, appreciate it. And down there, on the link, if you can click on Amazon, you'll help me out a little bit. Check out these ramen bowls. And I had these bowls because when you experiment with the chopsticks, it has a little thing that your chopsticks can sit on top of the bowl, so they won't slide down and drop on the ground, which is awesome. And there's a variety pack of ramen, so it's a quick snack, and it's pretty awesome. You can, yeah, we always have a ramen um, on the go because it's really quick. But nowadays I can't have so much ramen because the sodium level is pretty high. So if you guys are, like can't take so much sodium, I don't recommend eating too much ramen. Yep. So these are the two things that are affecting. And in Hong Kong now, uh, they are saying that um, 5,000 restaurants from now on to to the end of the year, they're going to close down. So they're expecting 5,000 restaurants to go bankrupt. And so far, we any haven't seen any assistance from the government. So which is sad. So I'm reading the comment here. Crazy Crossman, haven't Hong Kong been talking a lot of smack about COVID in the Philippines? Way better here than in Hong Kong. More freedom too. Yeah, um, I can just take a plane to go to the Philippines and just get off the plane. I have 2 shots and then prove that I'm vaccinated, and I can just go and do my business in Philippines. And when I come back, I have to take a COVID test and prove that I don't have no COVID and have 2 shots, and I'm free to go. But not in Hong Kong. Okay, Hong Kong is just like the Iron Curtain. Everything's shut off. And even now, the nannies, maids, DH, domestic helpers can't go to Hong Kong. And a lot of them, like every 2 years, they renew their contracts and they go home for a break. They can't even go, if they go back to the Philippines, they can't go back to Hong Kong to work, which is a sucky deal. Yeah, definitely Philippines. But the thing is, if I got a ticket, a one-way ticket to the Philippines right now, it's around one $1,500 US for a one-way ticket. So maybe $2,800 US for return ticket. So it's the plane tickets are crazy now. It's just I don't know. No comment again. So you guys think is it worth going to the Philippines? I thought about going to the Philippines, enjoy, relax, and then when Hong Kong opens, the border again to everybody, I can go back. But not the case. They extended it until the end of April. The deal is, uh, the reason I came here, remember, is because I can take over my wife's job from caring for the kids, and then she would go leave in January to Hong Kong. She already booked everything, quarantine hotel, everything, everything's paid for, and then until now she's stuck here, and she's overstaying in Canada, and she has to extend the visa and everything like that, and it's just a mess. And but in North America, they're more understanding. They understand that you're stuck and stuff like that. And then I heard like if you leave Canada and come back, you have to go back to the origin that where you came from to recount your days, right? So if you just go to the States and come back, they don't count you as entering a new entry. So that's one of the problems too. So let's talk some more about the COVID. So now, I think almost 2.5 weeks ago, the Omicron fifth wave hit Hong Kong. Now there are more than 50,000 people that are infected so far, and there have been deaths. And yesterday there's been an infant death, so that's really sad in a public hospital. And the thing is, this COVID, I don't know what's going on. Uh, it's just very sad. There's nothing as a citizen, nobody can do anything now, right? And all those protests and everything, those guys are in jail, so they're nothing to the government is not threatened by it. But somehow they make this thing so threatening for them. But for people in North America, correct me if I'm wrong, they take uh, Omicron as like a flu or something like that. But if you have 2 shots already, uh, it will be just like a flu, and you stay in bed, fever or something like that for about a week, and then you'll be okay. But anyway, I'm waiting for my third shot. Yeah, Salt, Sam K, welcome to my live stream. Salt, yeah. So nowadays when I get food, I do read the nutritional facts, and they're tricky because sometimes they'll say a cup and they'll say, same, you guys, when you buy meat, they'll just confuse the heck out of you. It says pounds, kilos, and how many grams. So you just don't get all confused, so you don't know the unit price. Yeah, and the prices, the supermarkets here are crazy. It's so high. And I was talking to one of my patrons. There's like $4 Canadian for a head of cabbage. No, lettuce. That's crazy. And I went down to the States, $1.75, so maybe $2.50 for a lettuce. So that's how much more food costs in Canada. That's crazy. So Hong Kong also just said, oh, we're going to help the citizens because of the COVID. People lost a lot of jobs. They're going to uh, hand out like maybe $1,600 US for everybody. But last time they handed the money to the citizens, they got really tough on fines. So you'll know how they're making up for the money. Like usually when you park your car, you get a parking ticket and like a few hours time and you leave. But nowadays you park your car for an hour, you probably get 4 different parking tickets for every 15 minutes on the wiper and tow your car. So these are the things they really, they really get you for it. And these, if you didn't wear your mask properly, there'll be like 5 health officials standing behind the staircase watching a taxi driver when he gets off to put something in the trunk, and they just catch him who didn't put on a mask when he walked out that door. That's a $5,000 fine, Hong Kong. So that's $700 US fine. So that's how they recover the money. So just to gouge back on the citizens and be nice to them handing out money. So it's just maybe out of my left pocket and then back in the right pocket, right? Doesn't make sense. Boo Boo, yeah, Bobo had Omicron. For me, it was like a bad cold for 2 days, sore throat for 4 days. Yeah, that's what generally I hear from Omicron. But I'm glad you're okay now, feeling well to watch my live stream. Awesome. So Hong Kong also, before the after the 4th wave, they always have this zero policy. But the thing is, I think Hong Kong is pretty much dying for the economy because Hong Kong is number one is a financial place. Number two is real estate. So real estate, some have dropped the prices dramatically. Financial, people can't get in and out of the country because of the quarantine, and some planes are banned. So you can't get into Hong Kong at all. And the third thing is tourism. In Hong Kong, there are a lot of mainlanders that come down to Hong Kong and go crazy shopping because in China, a lot of things have duties. So if you buy some item that's imported, it'll be a 30% tax on that item. So it'll be a lot higher if you buy imported goods. So nowadays, it's just, I think the government is saying that mainland Chinese government say, oh, the students are protesting against China, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. If you don't want the mainland China people to come to Hong Kong, don't come, So they make, that's what I feel. Okay, so if you guys from mainland come to Hong Kong, it's fine. You can come down. You get a, a pre-check or whatever. You don't have to quarantine, which is good. But when you go back to mainland China, that's a 21-day quarantine. So if I'm a mainland Chinese, I came down to Hong Kong to do a bit of shopping. I went back to China. I have to quarantine in a hotel for 21 days and pay for it myself. So that pretty much cuts off everything. And the weird thing is, if you are a Macau resident living in Macau, okay, I used to work in Macau, you go and then you just walk across the border to mainland China, Zhuhai, there's all you need to take is a PCR test. So make sure you have no COVID, 2 shots, and you can just go across the border. And from these 2 years, pretty much every day the border is open from mainland China to Macau. Nothing has closed, nothing. If they stop it, they might stop the border for maybe 24 hours. But basically the border has been open. So what I feel is that they are punishing the Hong Kong people because they say, oh, you dislike, you have all these protests, so we're gonna make it like that for you guys. So that's a sucky deal. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, do I'm reading the comments, you guys. It's awesome. I'm so happy to be on live again. Healthier, a lot healthier, and yeah, I'm feeling much better. And drop a like, guys, if you can. I really appreciate it. Um, Show me some love. And if you guys, I have a new patron this month, and I'm so happy. His name is Andrew, and I would like to really welcome him to our Patreon family. And I was so surprised because on the first day of Chinese New Year, and then I received a message from Patreon that I have a new um, patron, and it's just the feeling is just unbelievable. I see some support on my channel, my little channel. Yeah, I try to talk a bit more about everything. Next, I think the next live I'm gonna come on and I'm gonna talk about Macau because Macau, um, just a fact is Macau 90, I think almost 100% of the casinos in Macau is not owned by Macanese or mainland Chinese. It's owned, foreign owned. So I knew it all along when I was working there, and I think the Chinese government wanted to do something for a long time um, because it's not fair. Because they think 100% of the foreign investment is the casino, and they make a ton of money. So, for example, they build a massive, like a Venetian hotel casino, like in Vegas. The one they built in Macau is 4 times as big as the Venetian in Las Vegas. And the thing is, took them like 2 years to recover all the money they loaned from the bank. That's how much money they make. So now the government is really coming out with different things to change the situation. And all these gambling licenses, they're making all the new laws. So this is something I'm going to talk about it next, on the live. Oh, Sam K, juggling. Wow, that's a good skill. And yeah, it's good during the COVID shutdown. Just find something to do, keep yourself occupied. And the latest thing I've been doing is cutting hair. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube how to cut hair, and I cut my son's hair, uh, and and I don't know was it a good job, but when I went to a barber shop because I couldn't cut my hair, especially on the back. It's gonna be too messy doing it myself. It's gonna be like chunks of hair coming out, and they saw my son's hair. Oh, it's a really nice haircut. I really like it. Blah blah blah, and the feeling was amazing. So now I'm learning to cut hair. So if you guys are in Vancouver somewhere, I'll give you a free haircut. How's that? Promise there won't be any chunks. Yeah. So yeah, it's good to keep everything good, and just keep yourself occupied because when during this uh, oh, it turned out great. So you guys want to see my son's hair? uh, he's listening to music now. He's here. Hey, hello, Dark Randaris. How are you? Nice to meet you guys. Hi. Welcome to my channel again. Drop a like if you can. No, actually, it's pretty good. Um, you want to take a look at their haircut. Everybody wants to look at your hair. So here's my son. Uh, so the hair, look at the back. So I did a trim at the back, so there's no chunks. And on the side, good blending. I have to learn how to blend in. And then this side, the hair that comes down here. So what do you think? He's happy. Um, he felt more confident when the Barbara said, "Oh, who cut your hair? Is a pretty good job," because they wanted to cut his hair also, of course, right? So that is what I'm doing. So if you guys need a free haircut here in Vancouver, uh, just hit me up. I'll cut. Hey, Doc Renners, appreciate it. Thank you so much, and happy Chinese New Year to you. Be prosperous. Good luck. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So I just try to shift from. I love cooking because I ate so much food that I got really sick. So now I try to cut hair to, and my son actually, he was, hey, Mr. Lewis, St. Louis Keith, how are you doing? Wow, 10 years you become your own hair. It's a tough job, man. You have to go at the back, and I couldn't do it. You have to hold a mirror. I've been watching YouTube, but it's just a really big challenge. Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. It's gonna be nice in the summer. I hope you can come to the west coast. It's awesome here. Um, but we're getting some Arctic wind. So yesterday was just like freezing temperatures, and they wanted to play golf. I haven't played golf in such a long time, but it was so cold. You have to wear so much stuff on, and it was so windy, and many places lost power because it was so cold and the wind was so strong. So last night when we came back from the driving range, there wasn't any street lights. It was completely dark. The street was pretty scary. Yeah, uh, yeah. Thank you very much again for your support for my channel. You know, it's always so nice to see some love. And you guys watching me. Nothing. I'm just so boring. My channel is always small, but yeah, it's just a really nice gesture. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So basically, Macau is, the government, Chinese mainland government is trying to do something, and plus, I can't really talk too much behind the scenes what they're doing. But next, on a other live, I'm going to talk about generalizing what's going on. Um, yeah, because I might get my butt in trouble, and I'm trying to stay neutralized in a way, uh, but it's just kind of it's sad. Oh wow! So Sam K, are you in the West Coast? I see skiers. Um, yeah, wind chill is the worst. So they're saying here the wind chill is like minus teens. That's what the weather reports say. And nowadays, I'm skinnier, so when the wind chill gets me, I feel the cold. You just want to you freeze up. You can't even move your muscles and joints. Or maybe I'm getting old. I don't know what what's the case. Yeah, indoors. Yeah, especially yeah, and even now the COVID is really bad in Hong Kong, and they're taking this so serious. Yeah, I need some fat, but the fat was killing me, so I had to take off the fat. So now the wind chill is killing me. So yeah, crazy Crossman, you're making me jealous, man. 32 degrees. You can go skinny dipping. I can't even walk out the door. That's why these gym machines, the ellipsoid and the wait, I can do some of this just to keep fit. Yeah, age and skinny. Yeah, yeah. I'm an old man now. That's that's unfortunate. Yeah, so let's go a little bit, talk a little bit more about Hong Kong since my title is Hong Kong COVID, and now Hong Kong is the weather is like 40 degrees Fahrenheit, like 5 degrees Celsius, 6 degrees Celsius. But in Hong Kong, when it gets like this cold, you might think, well, it's no big deal. I can handle it. But in Hong Kong, everybody lives in apartments. So everybody lives in concrete buildings. And the thing is, in Hong Kong, all the little apartments don't have heating. All they have is air conditioning. So just imagine you're surrounded in four walls and with wood tiles, and it's really really inside. I live in one of the apartments in Hong Kong, and it gets so cold that it's really bad. So during this COVID times, a lot of people have to stay home, especially now they're doing like the mainland way. Like if somebody gets COVID and they don't have enough space for them to quarantine, the whole building is under lockdown. And people even complain they can't even get food to eat. That's really sad. Yeah. So so being cold in Hong Kong is not fun because there's no heat. Yeah, people are used to getting hot in Hong Kong, right? So if you find a place with AC, there you won't have any problems. When you just walk in a shopping mall, at home you have a freezing cold AC machine, but for heating, it's a different story completely. Even if you drive a car, you would probably never turn on the heater in the car. So once if you turn on the heater, really funky smell will come out of you, and it's gross. So that's wood. So at least there's some, yeah, under that thin layer of wood is bare shell concrete. So basically, you're surrounded in concrete, and inside all the steel, on the reinforced concrete. So it's really cold. It's really bad. So that's really sad in Hong Kong. Yeah, not much. Yeah, a little bit, but it's just the thing is, on full blast all the time. For me, in Hong Kong, I get these oil heaters, the old fashioned. I think they work the best, and especially when you take a shower, you put your towel on top, and then after it's really a good feeling. For Yeah, so that's pretty much in Hong Kong the news, and it's just I don't know. It's just I talk to my friends like the how the government runs Hong Kong. I think my personal opinion is when Hong Kong used to be a colony, all these officials already know what to do. They already have a schedule, meetings, everything. So there's already an agenda for everything. But now, okay, I'm talking facts here. I'm not making this up. It's just like, oh, something happens. Okay, I'm going to do it, blah, blah, blah. And then there's too many complaints or whatever. Oh, okay, I'm going to take this back. Oh, let's try some other new law. And that's not how you run a city. And when people complain too much, they'll say, oh, no, we're not listening to we only take advice from the central government. We are independent. We have our own laws, one country, two systems. So this is something that, people in Hong Kong get really frustrated about. That's the sad thing. Yeah, I don't know. I have no comment. Really sad. I'm not, I do business in mainland China still. I love the people there. They're really nice. I've in contact with them and everything. And by the way, I used to be in Huazhong Bay in Shenzhen, the electronic capital of the world. Like more than half of the people running those companies, they have closed down completely because in mainland China there's no tourists and everything like that because of the COVID. Because China was the first country to run the zero COVID policy. And talking about zero COVID policy, one of my friend does contracting, like he designs entertainment, like karaoke restaurants. He does interior design. So he had to go to Shenyang. So what he did is he would say, "Let me go to Zhuhai because Zhuhai has less people. I'll get a nicer hotel to quarantine in." Because you don't get a choice what hotel you go when you quarantine in mainland China. So for 21 days. So he went out back somewhere in the farm and everything. Hey Will, how you doing? Uh, Went there at the farm. Suddenly they built a new hotel. So you have to be paying for that hotel for 21 days. So after that, he went out of Shenzhen, had a few dinners, and then he took a plane to Shenyang. And then after he went to Shenyang, and then he had his meeting and stuff like that, the whole city went on lockdown. So what happens? He's not. You can't say he's under quarantine because he already quarantined in Shenzhen, Zhuhai. But the thing is, in Shenyang, when there's a lockdown, you can. It's not a quarantine, so you can still go down in the apartment you're living in to the stores where you're living, but you can leave this bubble. So what that means. So he was stuck in this little village for another 1 month, and he couldn't get out because in China, wherever you go, you have to have this QR code to scan, so they know, they can exactly track you where you're going. Okay, so if you went to an area that you're not allowed, the security guard will, they'll do appropriate action to make sure you don't leave this particular village. So that's how it's working in mainland China for the past 2 years. And they are trying to do this in Hong Kong. Okay, so they're doing this, they're copying the whole system in Hong Kong. So if you have, they're going to come out with a new China, mainland Chinese QR code system. So when you walk in a supermarket, anything, anywhere, restaurants, any public place, you have to scan this QR code. So if anybody's infected within that area, all these group of people will have to quarantine. Okay. Hey, Will. Hi. Welcome to my channel. Give me a like, guys. Appreciate it. Yes, 19. Dear, it's terrible. In Hong Kong, what can you do now? Because this COVID has kind of changed Hong Kong upside down. Yeah, and then there's going to be a big party, and beginning of April. You know what's happening in Hong Kong? Every resident in Hong Kong, everybody in Hong Kong right now, they're going to be tested, mandatory testing for COVID. So everybody in the population is going to be tested by COVID. You don't have to, but you'll probably get fined a few $1,000s US. So this is what they already announced it. So everybody's, but you guys, why don't we have a company, open an LLC or something, and start selling these rapid test kits or something like that to Hong Kong? I think somebody's making money here, right? Hong Kong's official population is 7.5 million people. So we can sell 7.5 million, 7.5 million. Hey, camera is the camera gone? The camera is dead. Yeah, the camera is dead. I think you can still see me. Oh dear. Can you plug this in? Hold on a second. Okay, so my camera's okay. It's alive. I just plugged it in, but I think it's dying. Yeah, I think my batteries hit the sack. So, anyways, I'm gonna. Yeah, is the battery? Is it? Am I here? Am I back? Okay. So it's running on USB. Luckily, I didn't plug it on USB. So yeah, it's messy, guys. I apologize for it. Yeah. So yeah. Now I hope you guys still. I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, it's not working out. Anyway, I'm gonna end this live. And again, I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you so much for your donation. And check out the link for the ramen. Drop a like, subscribe to my channel. So I'm going to sign off. And you guys have an awesome night and good evening. And yep, good night, guys. Bye-bye.